Most Christians have never truly grasped the depth of what the Bible reveals about the rapture. It is often spoken of as a glorious event where believers are taken to be with the Lord, but the reality is far more sobering. Many Christians will be left behind. The word rapture originates from the Greek term harpazo, which means to be caught up or to be taken suddenly to avoid danger. However, it also carries a more unsettling meaning, to be abducted. Imagine that. The Bible describes the rapture as a sudden and forceful taking away. One day, without warning, it will happen. People will be going about their daily lives, working in the fields, sitting in their homes, or lying in bed with their spouses. Then, in an instant, one will be taken, and the other will be left behind. Some imagine that when this happens, only clothes will be left behind, citing the example of Jesus when he was resurrected. But the case of Philip suggests otherwise. When he was caught up and transported from one location to another, there is no mention of his clothes being left behind. So, will clothing remain or disappear? We do not know for certain. What we do know is that life after the rapture will be unbearable. The Bible describes a time of 7 years of tribulation, where suffering will be beyond comprehension. People will beg for death, but even death will flee from them. The creatures that will roam the earth will be beyond anything we have ever known. Beings with hair like women, teeth like lions, and the power to torment people for 5 months without killing them. This is why God, in His mercy, has prepared a rescue mission. But not everyone will be part of it. The Bible does not say that every Christian will be taken. Instead, it speaks of those who are alive and remain. This does not simply refer to those who are physically alive, but to those who are spiritually alive, burning with passion for God, actively walking in His power, and refusing to be passive in their faith. Are you on fire enough to be caught up? Many assume that simply avoiding sin is enough, but the Bible makes it clear. It is not just about being holy, but about being fervent. The ones who will be taken are those who are on fire for God, demonstrating His power and living in His presence every day. It is not just about not sinning. It is about being on fire for Him. And so, the question remains, will you be among the taken, or will you be left behind? You might say, "Men of God, I don't sin." But are you on fire? "I don't drink or engage in immorality." But are you on fire? "I am a good person. I come to church, and I treat people well." But are you on fire? The Bible is clear. Those who are alive and remain will be taken. But what does it mean to be alive? It is not just physical life. It means being spiritually vibrant, full of power, actively pursuing God, and spreading His message. These are the ones who will be caught up. You are neither cold nor hot. You are lukewarm, and I will spit you out of my mouth. Revelation 3 verse 16. This means that even if you are a Christian, following all the rules, you can still be left behind. The question is not just whether you avoid sin, but whether you burn with passion for God, understanding the timing of the end. In Matthew 24 verse 34, Jesus said, "This generation shall not pass until all these things are fulfilled." A generation in the Bible can mean 40 years or 100 years. Israel became a nation in 1948, and if we add 100 years, we reach 2048. Does this mean Jesus is returning in 2048? Not necessarily. But He did say that the generation that witnesses Israel's restoration will not pass away before He returns. Then Jesus said, "No one knows the day or the hour, not even the angels, but only the Father." Matthew 24 verse 36. Many stop at this verse, assuming we can never know anything about the timing. But the Bible does not say we cannot know the season. In 1 Thessalonians 5 verses 1 to 4, Paul writes, "But of the times and the seasons, brothers and sisters, you have no need that I write to you. For you yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord comes as a thief in the night. But you, brethren, are not in darkness, that that day should overtake you as a thief. To the world, His coming will be like a thief in the night. But to those who are awake and on fire, it will not be a surprise." Jesus is coming, but who is He coming for? The Bible tells us that those in darkness will not know when He comes, but we are children of the light. This means we are not in darkness. We should know the times and the seasons. Many misunderstand the passage that says, Christ will come as a thief in the night. They assume this means we cannot know anything about his return. But the Bible never says Christians won't know. It only says those in darkness won't know. We are not of the night. We are of the day. The final warning. Many look at wars, disasters, and turmoil and say, "This must be the end." But the Bible says, "When they shall say, peace and safety, then sudden destruction will come upon them." 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 3. The world will be at peace, not in crisis, when the final moment arrives. Those who are watching, burning with passion for God, and spreading his message will be taken. The question remains, are you rapture ready? Are you one of them? The Jewish marriage tradition and the rapture. To understand the timing of Jesus' return, we must look at the Jewish marriage tradition, which is the symbolism Jesus used when speaking of his second coming. In ancient Israel, a man would 1. Find a woman he desired to marry. 2. Give her a ring as a sign of betrothal. 3. Return to his father's house to build a home for his bride. 4. Promise to come back for her, though she would not know the exact day or hour, only the year. 5. When the home was complete, he and his friends would travel to the bride's house at an unexpected moment, blowing the trumpet to announce his arrival. At that sound, the bride, already prepared and ready, would leave immediately to be with her husband. This is exactly what Jesus meant when he said, "In my Father's house are many mansions. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you to myself." John 14 verses 2 to 3. Jesus will come again as the bridegroom in the marriage. The trumpet will sound, and only those who are ready and on fire will be taken. The devil's plan to deceive many. Satan knows he can never be saved. His fate is already sealed. But his plan is to deceive as many Christians as possible, so that hell is full of people who should have been in heaven. He wants to make Christianity lukewarm. Believers who go to church but have no fire, no passion, no urgency. If he can convince them that they have plenty of time, he can make them miss the rapture. Christianity is more than church attendance. Many think being a Christian means going to church on Sundays, worshiping and praying, trying to live a good life. While these are part of Christianity, true Christianity is God's divinity character manifesting through us. It means walking in power, being on fire for God, and living in a way that makes people see Christ in us. What happens after the rapture? For those left behind, life will be unbearable. This is when the mark of the beast 666 comes into play. Many people are worried about the 666, but Christians won't be here for that. Paul wrote, "In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet, we shall be changed." 1 Corinthians 15 verse 52. If you are truly on fire for God, you will hear that trumpet and be taken. The question is, are you rapture ready? If ministry be on fire, if singing be on fire, if worship be on fire, if evangelizing be on fire, this is not the time to be passive. The rapture can happen at any moment, and only those who are burning with passion for God will be taken. Stay on fire. Stay ready. The trumpet will sound soon. Remember, God has made his ministers a flame of fire. Hebrews 1 verse 7. God bless you.